problem is that Irelia really did win her lane. I know she picked up the free kill on the Nocturne, and
Hmm.
Riven went into lane without flash, but I really did do a lot of work by herself in the lane. And, taking something as weak as a early game Mundo, unless he's a proficient Mundo player, not to discredit him or anything, it
Hmm.
could be a risky move. I know Mundo needs to be early picked, but it could be risky in this scenario.
Yeah, I still think Mundo shouldn't have too much trouble no matter what top laner they choose.
Hmm.
Um, I am curious what their answer is going to be, however.
Could be the Rammus. Rammus jumping up in popularity, but we'll have to see. I do like the Thresh first pick from Blue Team for two specific reasons. One, Trick Eye always shows up, or did show up on the Thresh last game. And two,
Hmm.
it chills nothing about your comp. Thresh literally fits into every single comp. He can peel, he can engage, he can pick. So,
Yeah, it's just so safe to take.
however, Jax was banned last game, isn't banned this game. Jax hover.
Now that is a very interesting choice. So many of the meta OPs being let through.
Hmm. Both teams trying to go for the target bans. We'll just have to see which OPs come
Oh, and the Vayne coming out maybe to answer
for the
this
Mundo.
Mundo.
Honestly, I really think Mortal Reminder is enough. You do not need a Vayne, but we'll see. Because Ingrav's Cult and Trick Eye did lane pretty well against Tristana, so we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
just have
and
to
I
see.
don't even think the Vayne is all that amazing against the Mundo. Like, yes, you can do tons of damage in the mid game without too many items. But it's really the sustain that of Mundo that becomes so oppressive, plus the absurd amount of damage he outputs. Um, so I don't know if this Vayne will be able to even kill this Mundo.
I mean, they showed like a Wukong Mundo first pick. It's going to be so hard for the Vayne, who's 550 range on all her abilities and her auto attack, just to start DPSing safely. So it could be risky, but the Rise hover, and if this does turn out to be a Rise pick, it's extremely scaling on the blue team side, and maybe that's something that the red team or the purple team can exploit.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about this because a Rise and a Vayne are very susceptible to early game ganks,
Hmm.
but they've switched to the Fiora and maybe the Vlad. Oh, the Nidalee coming out.
So
Interesting.
this is really, really interesting because you have a Vladimir mid lane, a jungle Nidalee, a top Jax, and a bottom lane Vayne. That is so much late game scaling on one team. And a Nidalee maybe to early pressure just to get her lanes from getting, just to keep her lanes from being demolished. But I'm not too sure here. It's a
Yeah,
lot of late game.
I don't know where Nidalee will be able to do much work um, because of please tell me it's the Lux pick. I think this
Hmm.
will be a smart choice for the real Slim Shady because the TF just was not working. Lulu's banned out. You have a much easier time with Lux. But yeah, with Alistar in the bot lane and with the Jinx traps, I don't see Nidalee being able to gank it that easily without the bot lane misplaying.
Hmm.
Um, and with the snares from Lux, it looks like Mundo will probably be the target in this early game.
Interestingly enough, they haven't traded, so let's see. They could be trolling us, but it could be a Jax jungle. It could be. I'm pretty sure. Like most times, it would be Jax top and Nidalee jungle, but
Hmm.
I am quite interested to see. Maybe the Jax jungle with the Devour into the Rage Blade could be really. But that's just more scaling you're adding.
That is more scaling, and this is not looking It might have been a pick to throw the enemy team off.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it looks like it's
It
Jack's
is. It's a
jungle.
Jack's jungle, and you know, I really want to see what he ends up building. You know, is he going to go the Devour route, or is he going to take that Warrior, or even the Cinder Hulk? But right now, Blue Team has so much scaling, but they do have a lot of split push power. You know, the Nidalee top known for its split pushing power. Vladimir, of course, a born split pusher, and Vayne. I don't even have to start. On top of that, they have a jungle Jax. So a really solid split push comp. I don't know if that's what they were going for. Maybe they're just like, okay, we've been smashing the early game. Let's just pick some late game scaling champs, just like TSM did last season, late in the season. But let's see what they do.
Yeah, I think as long as Jinx and Lux don't fall too far behind, as long as they can output the damage, I think that Alistar and Mundo will just outlast the enemy team while Wukong is able to go for a flank. I'm actually a bigger fan of this comp from the red side than I am from this blue team. I think it's just mainly the jungle of Jax is throwing me off a little bit. I think he relies really heavily on Flash for some ganks,
Mm-hmm.
because the counter strike is really obvious, and then he leaps CCs. So not really sure what they're going to do in the early game.
It's just a lot of scaling, and let's see if this, you know, it is Wukong jungle. He is better post 6, of course, but he does have some early game pressure, and let's see if he can really get his lanes going. And, you know, blue team, once again, like, they have no true tank. So it could, you know, if they do fall behind, the AoE Jinx rockets and the AoE from the Lux just could
Mm-hmm.
be very, you know, just could be very poor. On top of that, like red team has like 3 true tanks. They have
Yeah,
Wukong Jungle, who might go Cinder Hulk. Honestly, he doesn't even need to. He could even go Warrior for the early game pressure, or for the damage. And Wukong and Mundo and Alistar are just so tanky. Like all the while Vayne is just trying to chip away at their front line. Jinx is just getting free autos with her, you know, 700 range rockets.
yeah, and right now, sorry, just to talk about this in Italy for a
Hmm.
second, because I am thrown for a loop because it's been a while since I've seen a Italy top. Has decided to go 1208 with Grasp of the Undying. I'm not sure if that's standard or not, but it is a very interesting choice. Uh, looks like everyone decided all at once to give up the Thunderlords. Uh, however, we still have 4 people on this blue team with Thunderlords. Just the Italy decided, no, not today.
Very interesting choice. I just want to see. Maybe they picked it for the lane bully versus
Hmm.
the Mundo top. We'll have to see.
Um, this Jinx decided to go 1812, going for the Fervor of Battle,
Hmm.
uh, instead of opting for
The
the Thunderlords
Warlords.
like this Vayne did.
Okay.
Um, I like Fervor Battle. It did get nerfed because now it's only against you can only
Champions.
stack it against champions. Because it used to be, in all fairness, it used at level 6. It used to be that you could like get your BF sword, etc., stack it, and you'd get another 40 AD. So it's like you're fighting with 2 BF swords, which
Yep.
was actually pretty ridiculous. Um, and you can still technically do that. It's just harder because you have to target champions now.
Hmm. You can't just farm the wave and then.
And then all of a sudden hit like a truck. The only person who's allowed to do that is Mundo because Mundo goes where he pleases.
I'm curious to see the level 1 strat. You know, I want to see if which team decides to go aggressive. Last time it was the blue team that chose to go for the invade, but Jax hasn't left base yet. He does have the movement speed buff, but red team definitely gets in position before the blue team if they are posturing for an invade. Blue team is grouping up, funneling in.
I think that this red side team definitely has a
30
better
seconds until
early
minions
game
spawn.
with this Lux Alistar Mundo.
Yep, just a lot of wombo. Oh, This could
Oh
be
wow,
terrible.
walking into
This
a
could be
trap.
terrible.
The double
This
snare.
double binding. He'll immediately pop
Oh,
from the vein.
wow.
First blood goes over to Alistar, chasing in. Flash comes out from the Jinx, picks up a kill. Great job from the red team. Good early wards to see the invade, backs up to pick up the prime targets. If you're ever invading, Vayne should never be the first person going.
Yeah, I think that was just a really poor decision by the blue side. However, props on the red side. They read them like just so well. They put the ward down, they backed up, saw them coming, and just got that double snare.
And let's talk about summoners. You know, Vayne Thresh is not a very strong lane early on, and they're down heal, and Thresh is down flash. Could not go worse. Royal immediately walks into lane, immediately gets bound. Lux outputting a lot more early pressure than last game.
Yeah, this Thunderlord's just doing so much damage because it also procs with the passive of her abilities.
And I think that it was the Braum from last game is playing mid Lux now, so you know, kind of a lane swap.
Oh wow, yeah, Real Slim Shady is now the Mundo instead of playing. Was he mid lane earlier?
I'm not terribly sure, but definitely pulling out CLG levels of role swaps, so quite interesting to see. Let's see if that gamble does pay off.
I mean, it's doing well so far.
And
Jinx, however, does not have flash.
Yep. It is quite interesting because both lanes, both bot and top, are kind of mirrored, whereas Jinx is harassing the Vayne down, Nidalee is harassing and pushing in the Mundo, so we'll definitely have to see.
Yeah, it was the Real Slim Shady who was that TF. And now it is the... You're right, it is the Braum who is this Lux now.
Jax
Oh, the Jax tank.
Going, it might be really poor for the Lux. Nope, survived.
Holding on to the barrier though, so that's actually pretty good. She will be able to just sustain back up. I do believe she has a biscuit. So.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh, Baron
Really
getting
good
hit by
combo.
binding after binding. So you know the Lux pick could be paying dividends here. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Lux is easily camped, so we'll see. However, Lux still did hold on to both summoners. So
I don't mean to criticize, but they're very nice. See, this Lux keeps doing this, and I think she actually could have gotten a kill had she done this better, which is she keeps proccing her passive before she bursts the bubble of her E. So what ends up happening is she only gets the proc once instead of binding, proc, then throwing out the AoE.
And Wukong gang coming in top, immediately flashes, goes into the brush for the movement speed. Hopefully, yep, looks like Nidalee is going to get out fine. And for those of you who are quite unfamiliar with Lux, just to explain, anytime Lux lands a spell on anything really, if you auto attack after that, it procs your passive and it does extra damage. So what you can do is Q auto, E auto. But what this Lux is doing is Q E and then autoing, so only proccing her passive once.
Ooh, oh wow, the barrier comes out. Well, she gets a bind.
Catches the binding, gets ignited, goes well played from this Vladimir, doing work, flashing in aggressively, knowing how much damage to do, and you know, loses the barrier as well, so could be pretty bad. But Wukong coming in invisible, picks up the kill. Unfortunately, Lux did not get an assist. Jax coming down, picking up a free kill on this Jinx. I'm not too sure what happened. I think this was some miscommunication on the red team, because Jinx was really pushed up alone while Alistar was warding. So
yeah, I think they're just letting this Jax get away with
picking Jax
into the lane and just counter striking in. I think they need to get better vision control so that he can't just run through river. I think Jinx was definitely overextended there.
Definitely, especially.
Oh, very good headbutt pulverize.
Buy some time, get some damage down, but you know, Vayne probably just wants it back after picking up that assist. So that little bit of damage might be, too little too late.
I am very disappointed that this Lux is not getting Spell Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I understand the need for the Chalice, but it might actually be better to go Spell Thieves into a Morello's if you're worried about mana. I obviously think, like, the magic resist is great, and Nidalee being chased down by Mundo.
Mundo's great use of
this is why you ban Mundo.
Yo, look at the damage, and that's from a hyper tank. And on top of that, this Mundo is 1-0-2, same score as his jungle. Out of 4 kills, has been part of 3 out of 4 kills. Great kill participation and great use of level 6. Nidalee was not level 6. He knew he was up at level. He instantly ulted, walked up, and just demolished that Nidalee. Picks up the kill. And this could be really good for the red team, because now Mundo's is going to scale into a hyper tank that only really Vayne can deal with, if that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what their plans were with this Nidalee pick. It just, like, I can sort of understand the Jax pick, I guess. Because he's just so strong with Rageblade. But this Nidalee pick just doesn't make too much sense to me.
Especially, Kevin, when Wukong and Mundo were early picked. So the top lane. But here's another interesting thing, Vayne did opt to go for the recurve bow instead of getting the in-lane sustain, so maybe that's a small window that Jinx can abuse, but we'll have to see. The hook actually...
Lots of action in all 3 lanes right now.
But I think that's the first time on camera that Trick Eye has missed a hook today, so credit to him. Wukong coming, flash ultis, great use there. Great use, instantly bursts that Vladimir. Great job. Great job from...
That was a really great gank. Vlad just realizing he could bully this Lux and wanting to eventually tower diver. Just... You could see it in his mind. He was just thinking, after another wave, I can tower dive, and then the jungler comes, and all hope is lost.
I don't think Vladimir could move into the flash E knockup, into the binding from the Lux, into the straight up spark. Great use. Mundo picking up. Both bushes were pink warded, and Mundo picks it up. So that's just a 300 gold gone in the early game. 10 CS up. It might equalize once the red team's wave hits the tower, but something that's designed to be a lane bully / split pusher, getting oppressed this early on. Once again, Jinx overextending, gets hit by the box. Vayne ultis, can Alistar peel? I don't think so. Lands a good hook into a condemn. Jinx is
very pulverized, but it's just not enough.
This bot lane needs to communicate. Anytime that this Alistar is out of lane, Jinx needs to back up. Vladimir instantly ultis. I think that was a
great shield. Oh, but the missed binding, that would have been a very dead Vladimir.
And a missed final spark, but you know what? Jax is topside, clearing that pink. Mundo knows, doesn't seem to care because Mundo goes where he pleases, but it could end up costing him. Ulti's just a little bit too late, can't get that healing, and once again, Jax walks over into lane just freely. They're not punishing this Jax pick. He's just walking into lane, getting that free stun off, and getting his laner a kill.
Yeah, I think this could go very, very well for the red side, but they're just misplaying very heavily. Jinx is overextending, Lux is just not hitting the bindings, which would have pretty much guaranteed a kill even with the Sanguine Pool or whatever he has. And another missed binding, but
Jax flash stuns in. Royal Baron should go down. Now
yes,
Jax
can he make it? The spinning monkey.
He wardhops. Well played.
Questionable binding, but it's okay. That was in the dark. But this is what I'm saying. I think with the Spell Thieves, there's no way that Jax would have been able to just run away, and they would have also gained vision.
And to credit this Jinx, she has been overextending quite a bit, but she is 1-2-1 to the Vayne's 1-1-1 and staying even in CS, so it's not as bad as it seems. Red team is up 200 gold. Vayne getting aggressive, while Wukong is waiting in the bush for quite a while. I think the Jinx should have reset the wave so that Wukong could get a gank out, but he's spending a lot of time here. Jax is here. Can the counter gank work? Wukong holds on to his CDs. Alistar instantly pops the ultimate, tanking everything. Vayne ultimate is used.
Jinx gets hooked. Yes, it's stopped. It's a very late TP from this Mundo.
Alistar has no ulti, don't forget, is forced to flash out. Vayne forced to tumble under her tower. Once again, Mundo.
Mundo, oh man, the Ignite. Not respecting the Ignite. And I'm not really sure where this Jinx was during all of this.
I think they just, just take it slow and,
But Vlad is looking to
tower
dive
down
on
once again. However, he is isolated. Gets a 3-man massive Vlad ultimate, pulls down, picks up the kill on the Alistar, is going to pick up the kill. 2 kills onto this Vlad. 1v3. Ignites the Jinx. Jinx is trying to auto as much as possible. Great Lantern. Once again, Final Spark misses. Gets the fish bones onto the Vladimir. Finally goes down. 1v4. Jinx picks up a double kill. Vayne flashes forward. Is diving. Bind misses, but good usage of shield. Keeps Lux.
Can she get the Thunderlord's proc? Does she still have it?
Gromp and walk away. Just kidding. Vayne is out of range. Jax coming up once again. Can she get the damage down?
Oh, and the second part of the snare kills Vayne. Should have seen that coming, but it's quite alright.
Jax chooses to back up. Not too bad.
It looks like we have Hotshot GG here with the old school Gwynsu's Nidalee.
We did say League of Thunderlords, but it is also the League of Gwynsu's. So, I haven't really seen Gwynsu's Nidalee, but I guess it kind of makes sense.
I mean, you can get those stacks so quickly with your abilities, I guess. So it does make sense in that, and the hybrid damage too. In theory, it makes sense, but we'll see if it pays off.
But early game Dragon once again from the red team. Let's see if the Jax can do anything about it. Seems like they are conceding it. Mundo is walking down while Nidalee is staying top. However, Nidalee does have TP. Mundo shows himself and starts pushing middle.
This is Jungle Jax with Devourer, so he's going to take a long time to be able to do anything. I'm surprised Lux didn't just throw out a binding and they could collapse on him.
Here is something that is really worrying though, is Jungle Jax, Vladimir, and Vayne, and they're up 2k gold once again at 13 minutes.
And I think that's really more from misplays on this red team side than it is anything else. Like this Lux is not respecting the minion damage as well.
Mm-hmm. And, just not giving the Jungle Jax or playing around it as you should, just letting the Jungle Jax walking into lane and getting a free counter strike off, not the play that you want. Vayne gets
this Vayne is probably very dead.
Jinx does not have the ultimate. Alistar does have the ultimate, but chooses not to dive the tower. Wukong flashes in. Counter-Strike is going to go down, but land on no one. Vayne is backing up. Lux is here. Can she snipe the Vayne? No. Vayne gets her safe recall off, but this could cost Red Team their mid tower, as Vladimir is pushing down.
Yeah, Red Team just always letting people get out, which is the sliver of health. Not optimizing their play.
Out here, he does have the mark on him. Yes, the ultimate does not keep him alive. Sunfire Rush is not enough to keep him alive from the Gwynsu's Nidalee. Let's see if the build pays off. Let's see if the Jax can reach Devour stacks, or can the red team end it before then. Vladimir mid seems to be picked quite a lot today. The final
wow.
But
is she dead though?
She died. No! She does stay alive after the burst from the Vladimir.
And doesn't even pop barrier. Oh, but this Nidalee, can she make it out? That is very odd. They just let her escape through.
This Nidalee is this Lux is hashtag calculated. But Wukong does go down to the top jungle synergy of...
Yeah, just staying too long, unsure of what to do.
And on top of that, Mundo was clearing the minions in the lane while Alistar was hovering between both of them. And, Wukong was chasing, so just slight miscommunication. Hopefully, that can be fixed before the next play comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Vayne freely pushing down bot. It looks like Jinx is conceding that tower, interestingly enough. And another thing that's quite interesting is that the Jinx did go for the naked IE with no other crit, which is
very odd,
to say the least. But we'll have to see if it plays off. Maybe she just wanted, I don't know, because Azeel does give 20% crit, which is as much crit as IE. So we'll have to see. Just some trading down.
I think this Lux could probably open with her E instead of her bind. She throws her bind out first, but if she gets the slow first,
much
would
easier.
be better.
But tanky Mundo coming in, doing.
Oh, but the TP.
I do not think the TP is going to be enough. Mundo goes where he pleases, is running away.
Trying to hug that wall to dodge, but
turn it. Lux is coming in, Jax is coming in, Jax with the counter-strike, chooses to zone 2 people.
Nidalee trying to jump over that wall. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. No matter how perfectly
But, Vayne is recalling, and Vladimir is dead. Not too much wave clear left on the side of the blue team. And they do have a Jinx, which shreds towers. Look how safe this Jinx is behind her 2 tanky jungle and support. Ulti comes out, but lands on no one. But now, red team should be careful, because blue team is starting to respawn, and they're down 2 ultimates. No, 3 ultimates, actually.
True, but that Lux ultimate is already a quarter way done. So, right now what they need to do is just hold this mid tower and shove out their outer lanes.
It's just really interesting because they're up in kills, but they're down 2 towers, So the gold difference is at 3k, but if they keep playing this way, it is a window for especially Red's team's exceptionally strong mid game to pick up and kind of even out the gold differential.
And it looks like this is a tower that is gone.
I really like that positioning from the Alistar. He notices that the Nidalee is targeting the Lux, but he comes up to protect his carry, so well played from Hummus Goat, just protecting his carry. Vladimir's
not entirely sure that they needed to concede that tower. They kind of showed that they were going for it. I think they could have had more people on that.
Definitely. Especially because, blue team has no siege. They don't have too much wave clear. They have
and they have Vayne, they have Vlad and Thresh.
A bunch of melees, or even pseudo-melees, and a Vayne, their siege isn't that good against a Lux, and Alistar, and Jinx, like a lot of wave clear. If you walk up too fast, Alistar can flash pulverize and then headbutt you into under tower into Jinx chompers. Lux can wave clear very well off low CD, so. And
I honestly think that this game will be determined by how this Lux plays within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Definitely. And, Vladimir playing really aggressive bot, a small skirmish.
Oh!
Nice pulverize right into the Jinx W. Wukong picks up the kill. However, it looks like Mundo is going to fall here. Nidalee picks up the kill. And can the Lux ult steal a dragon? No. However, this could
but they're down ultimates here. I don't know what they can really do.
The Jinx ult comes down, but doesn't do too much damage because everybody is
really good Thresh box to slow down the siege.
And like I said, Thresh can do so much. He can engage, disengage, and I just want to see if this is his second pick after Morgana. I'm really curious to see how good his Morgana is to warrant a ban.
This is what I'm saying. Where are the spooky ghosts? You need those spooky ghosts to catch up to these enemies. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nidalee.
Apparently we are seeing the power of Gwynsu's Nidalee.
Gwynsu's Frozen Heart Nidalee. Top laners of Inshallah, take your notes. However, can this be a pick from, yes, so much damage coming up from the Lux as well. She also has kills. We have to give credit where it is due, and this Lux is 4-1-6, 10 kills out of 13, doing her best to carry her team to the semifinals of Intro. However, Royal Baron walking up to this Jinx. It could be so bad. So much burst damage coming out. Chompers will not land. Pool goes out, and 1 Q from Vladimir finishes the job off. So well played from Royal Baron, knowing that the Jinx would want to push down that bot tower to equalize the tower differential, and just punishes that.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a blue trinket from this from this Jinx soon, but she is not buying it even though she is level 9. She cannot just solo by herself.
Vayne pops the ultimate very early. I'm really curious to see if Red Team can maybe force something out of that, because she is so short range and there's not too much dive on Red Team, so maybe Vayne won't be able to position properly in the next team fight, but we'll have to see without her ultimate.
Yeah, that was close to some Vayne spotting right there, but
she
better judgment.
She did choose to go for the rapid fire cannon as well. She built quite a lot today, but this Nidalee with the frozen mallet, I would
so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Vayne goes for the insta condemn into the Bork and the third auto. Vayne heals as well. She has no ultimate, remember. Goes down to the chompers. However, Jinx is left exposed.
Great exhaust.
But it's not enough and cannot peel properly. Cannot peel this Nidalee off the Jinx. Can she pick up one more? The Hex Drinker pops. Might be able to buy enough time. The Lantern! Great Lantern from Trick Eye. Trick Eye doing work on Thresh as usual. Good kudos to him. I don't expect him to get Thresh. I would be very surprised if he got Thresh in the semifinals. Great usage of Lantern. Nidalee survives with a sliver of health, and now Lux is left alone to defend 1v2 versus a Devourer Jax and a Thresh. However, I think she can definitely do it just because, Lux is Lux. And there's no threat of a dive anymore because her team is posturing to prevent it, so she should be fine. However, it is interesting to know that Jax is sated. Once again, Royal Baron, flash ultis, takes out half of this Jinx's health before the pop, is diving into the inhibitor, does not take Jinx down. Can this Wukong turn around? Lux ult misses. Jinx ult hits. Wukong. This Wukong is always in the right place at the right time just to clean up the kill after Royal Baron all-ins. I'm pretty sure this Vladimir hates his Wukong by now.
I think this Jinx hates this mid laner, from the Fizz to this Vladimir hiding in every single bush waiting for his opportunity.
And you know what? Maybe she's keeping the yellow trinket to get some defensive wards up, but I still disagree.
I do as well.
But there's a skirmish going in. Vayne ultis in. Jax behind the enemy team. Alistar forced to flash out. Still has ultimate. Does not pop. And Nidalee chasing in the jungle where she is fastest. Jax gets the counter strike. Alistar doesn't even bother ulting. Could this be Baron for the blue team? They do have a Vayne. They do have a Jax. Could be, but
and this Nidalee with this frozen mallet is just unkiteable. You cannot get away from this Nidalee.
We were really interested to see is this Nidalee an answer to the Mundo, and so far yes, the Nidalee is 6-1-3, while the Mundo has died 5 times, is a third of his team's deaths, and the frozen mallet doing work yet in another season, and the Nidalee dives through.
Wow.
Yeah, just dives into the inhibitor turret, picks up the kill. Trick Eye once again pulls the Mundo in, is forced to ulti. Lux ulti comes out finally, shuts down. Can Red Team turn this? That is the question. I'm pretty sure the Thresh is going to go down. Pulls out.
The Vayne is here now. Will it be enough? Wukong is very low, taking a lot of damage. Jax goes down. The chase is on, but Vlad comes in out of nowhere.
Challenger has entered the fight instantly. Gets the ulti. Only one man ulti. Mundo with the triple kill is 5-5-3 now.
It appears that they're going for Baron.
Without their AD carry, Vayne finally ultis. However, Alistar pulls out his ulti as well. Seems like a stalemate. Can Alistar buy enough time for the Lux to get there? Jinx is there as well. Jinx, can she?
Oh, very good.
Good chompers. Walks his chompers, picks up the kill. Can they posture around Baron or at least get vision control around there? Not terribly sure. Red Team still down 6.3k, but they are getting some favorable trades here.
Yeah, Red Team just punishing the Blue Team for their over-aggression and cockiness and being in the jungle after getting a kill and overstaying. It's just lots of mistakes.
And they are up one game, but it is not a best of 5. It is a best of 3, and one game matters so much. So we'll have to see how the red team can adapt, if they can push it to game 3. Jax seems to be going top to stop this Mundo split. Red team still only has one turret, so it just comes down. Royal Baron once again bot, probably looking for the Jinx. However, Alistar is there. Royal Baron chasing down this Alistar. 3 people down for this Vladimir.
But he could turn on this
And turn on
Jinx.
However, good usage of exhaust, wall to pop, and basically trading 1 for 1. But
Trading both summoners for the heal and the flash.
however, can blue team posture around Baron? Because they have a Vayne, they have a Jax, and they do know that Wukong was bot,
And this Jax has, even though he has
It's almost-
Jinxus and Devourer, he has no HP. He's just dying to this Baron.
It's almost like, they have to back off Baron. They do not have the tankiness. They have the damage, but they don't have the tankiness. And Vayne ultis after Nidalee goes down. Wukong with the ass Vayne does not fall for it. Good try though, respect given their good effort, but is not enough. Vayne has no ulti. Trick Eye going for the hook. I don't think Lux sees the Vayne. Vayne tumbles in, cannot get the condemn into the wall. However, that one empowered auto does chunk out the Lux. Maybe they can push down the mid. I seriously doubt it because they have to answer bot. However, Vladimir and Jax posturing around bot, stopping the split push. But all in all, I would say that's a good trade for the red team because they pick up 2 kills for 2. They trade 2 for 2 while behind, which is fine. But they also pick up 2 turrets. So they go.
Yeah, slowly and steadily they're coming back into this game, and I honestly think that they have a very good case for coming back. Even though, yes, you have the Guinsoo's on both these, the jungler and the top laner, and you have Sadie Devour, and yes, Vlad scales very late. But if you look at the tankiness of the team, the only person on the enemy team that is tanky is really Vlad, who can survive the burst from Lux. Everyone else cannot really stay in an extended team fight. So as long as Mundo and Wukong and Alistar can outlast and protect the carries,
Vladimir flashes over the wall, almost insta-gives the Jinx. Jinx is surely going to go down. There are no more summoners for the Alistar or the Jinx to defend their AD carry, and unfortunately she goes down. Will this be Baron? Who can stop the split-pushing Vladimir? Definitely not the Alistar.
and honestly, I think this is a misplay from the Alistar, who can ward so safely, but chooses not to do so. He wards after the fact.
And Baron is going down so quickly, but like you said, there is no true tank on blue team's side, but they are using
This looks like a dead Mundo.
They're just using Barons to force an engage because blue team is so far ahead. And like I said, Alistar is not the person you want to send to stop a split-pushing Vladimir. So definitely not getting the lane that they wanted. And just an interesting piece of trivia. So you know how they changed Last Whisper to bonus armor?
Yes.
So Thresh, from his souls, actually is getting bonus armor. So it's an indirect tank nerf to Thresh. So they're even less tanky than they would have been a couple of patches before. Once gets the Last Whisper. But sieging down the top tower, Vladimir decides to push down another tower. Bot inhibitor tower going down. It looks like blue team is starting to choke out red team. Can blue team make any miracle plays? This Wukong is definitely trying.
And there's the Wombo.
A great Wombo, keeping them into the game. How many times have we seen the red team with their backs against the wall, but then all of a sudden Wukong stealths in with the ultimate into a Lux ultimate and turns the tides. So really good mid-jungle synergy there. Royal Baron is going to go down. Lux is on a killing spree.
It doesn't matter.
2 flashes, so aggressive. Alistar unfortunately misses the pulverize, but Jax pulls out the ultimate for some more tanky stats. This Mundo is doing so much damage. Can they pick him up? Gets the exhaust for the slow. However, Nidalee gets slowed. Can she pick up the kill on Lux before going down? No, she cannot. The Hex Drinker did do some work there. However, no.
Wow.
Can they rush Baron? Can red team rush Baron right now? And just turn the tides of the game. Without Mundo, it's going to be so tricky. And this is half health Wukong. And
You know, Wukong doesn't have too many tanky stats yet, but Alistar comes in. Can Vayne and Thresh get there before it is halfway down? Ladies and gentlemen,
has TP though. He has the TP in. There it is.
good use of Scrying Orb. TP goes down. Thresh hooks down. Baron is doing so much work to this Wukong. Thresh is going to go down. Vladimir is running up. Vayne is considering going in and out. Flashes, but Vayne picks up the kill on the Jinx. However, Red Team secures Baron. Can this be the turning point for Red Team?
Unlucky Condemn as well means that Lux actually makes it out alive and gets the kill. Oh, things are falling apart for this blue team.
Not giving up. You know, you have to really give it to the Red Team. They got demolished game 1. You know, you have to wonder, are they going to be tilted? Are they afraid going to game 2? No. They fight back. Even if, no matter how much gold they're down, they're not afraid to make these aggressive plays. They make picks, and they're getting these objectives. You know, it used to be a 6k gold lead, now it's going down to 3k, and it seems like the Mundo is scaling up. The Jinx is scaling up. The Lux is making pick after pick. This Wukong is just going off, and will this be enough to take down Royal Baron? Royal Baron...
Wow, dodging the ultimate from Vlad, really well played.
You know, it is really tempting just to W to the lane and then E in, but, you know, Wukong really holds on to his ultimate doing work. You have to hand it to this Wukong. Every time you think, oh, this is going to be really bad for Red Team, Wukong comes in and saves the day. So, really well...
You can see the pings going out on the towers, and this is so important because they're down an inhib tower. And you can see Nidalee and Thresh have their eyes set on this inhib, so they need to take these towers quickly. Wukong is the response to this split pushing Nidalee, but it's a Jinx with Baron buff. They need to answer this middle tower, and I think...
And you have, like, what is the wave play? Is Vayne going to go down? It does go down! This is huge. However, they opt to go for the 3rd dragon. Maybe they're going for 5 dragons instead of pushing down the middle inhib with Baron buff. We'll have to see.
I don't really agree with that. Their Baron buff is almost up. It's about 2/3 of the way down. They need to take these towers. With Vlad was still dead, Vayne just got executed by this Lux. And they keep stalling around because they're afraid.
Too much importance being put on this dragon. You know, 5 dragons is a great win condition, fine, but it's taking so long to scale up, and blue team has no wave clear. Punish that. Their 80k just got picked off. You just sent your Wukong to stop the split pushing Nidalee. Jax is just dilly-dallying mid. You have a Jinx who shreds towers. And
they need to take these towers in order to win.
They need to push down the middle inhib and then peel back for dragon if that's up. If that's an option. But
yeah, and Jax finally realizing that he is in fact not very tanky, picking up a Giant's build and some armor, but will it be too late?
It might be, because I'm quite confident, Kevin, that the Lux can still burst him. Because you're going for the AD, I mean, you're going for the armor, but, you know, it is the Lux which is making pick after pick after pick. And just turning the tides of the game. And, you know, this is a really good game just to watch and to cast. They're pushing down the mid inhibitor, and look, it looks like blue team is caught with their pants down because they're not even there. Vladimir,
but look at this.
Ulti's in. It's the Jinx. However, he's going to be CC'd down. You know, just take the inhib. Because
they have to take the inhib. Look at Jax. Jax and Lux is...
Can blue team it's turning into a base race as Jax chooses to take the bot inhibitor. However, you know what? I would make the call to try to end the game here.
Yeah, I would say Wukong, stay. You have to end the game. Wukong should not be Wukong.
You have a Jinx. There's no wave clear left. Throwing the wrong tower, but it doesn't matter. It is Jinx and Red Team. Is this the GG? Vladimir is still dead for 20 seconds. Peel for your Jinx. Jinx is out of the tower. Well played from the Red Team. We're going to...
Wow, game 3.
Yeah, that is...
What a game.
Play that Silver Scrapes, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to Game 3 to see who is going to qualify for the Intralal semifinals.
And this is what I was saying. Lux was the answer for a lot of the weaknesses of their last game. The CC that she can just throw out constantly that can hit more than one person, and the huge amount of burst and wave clear is exactly what was missing from the TF.
Definitely. And, you know, let's look at the damage charts. And yes, so interestingly enough, Lux did the most damage, but Mundo wasn't too far behind, and Nidalee did 28k worth of damage, the most on her team as well. So the Jax jungle, Kevin, did 8.3k damage. Thresh did 7.8k damage. I would not go for the Jax jungle once again.
Yeah, this Jax was fairly underwhelming after the early game. He got 2 really great ganks off. He went into mid, burned Lux's or actually he didn't burn any summoners, but he brought Lux down to really low health. Then he ganks bot and manages to kill an overextended Jinx. But after that, he doesn't do much because Jax is a split pusher 1v1 champion. But you can't really do that against a Mundo.
Mm-hmm.
And what they really needed to do is to put Nidalee and Vladimir in separate lanes. But that also doesn't leave an answer for Lux, because then you have Thresh, Vayne, and Jax, who really can't do much in a 1-3-1 scenario.
Definitely agree. And what would you do differently if you were the blue team?
Well, if I were the blue team, I would definitely not be picking this Jax jungle again. As you can see, this Wukong did so much work. Choose a jungler that can do a lot of damage and invade very quickly with his W and just make plays. You can't make a lot of plays as jungle Jax, in my opinion. And then this Mundo was a great pick because the Riven was just too squishy. And Mundo, even though he was getting chased down by this Nidalee and died multiple times, he was able to stay relevant because he's Mundo and he's staying tanky and he's able to output damage and survive an extended team fight. This is what the team was doing really well. You have Jinx and Lux for an extended team fight, and you have Alistar and Mundo to outlast and Wukong to flank. And they just made so many good picks.
And you have to give credit to this Wukong and this Lux, keeping them in the game, not giving up, putting, their team is slacking, they put the team on their back, doing work, so good on them. And then the Mundo picks up the triple kill mid-game. After that, he's just too tanky to deal with. I criticize him for being 5 deaths, but after that triple kill, he ends up being 5-5, becomes a force to be reckoned with, all the while